A game. It's dangerous. An Oregon mom outraged after her daughter collapsed during a high school basketball trial because she wasn't allowed to take off her mask. When freshman Savannah Lay had difficulty breathing, she stepped into the locker room, but a teammate then found her passed out and rushed her to the hospital. Thankfully, she's feeling better. And both Savannah and her mom, Jessica, join us now. This is just the latest story of youth athletes, youth sports, being victims to people being politically correct and not understanding athletics. First off, Savannah, tell me what happened with you.
We were doing a couple drills that would normally be super easy for me, and I was having a really difficult time breathing. And I asked the coach if I could take a break, and he said yeah. So I went up to the sidelines to pull my mask down, and one of the junior players told me that I was not allowed to do that. So I went into the locker room, and I had to get onto the floor because the coldness of the floor was helping me breathe. And it was at the point where I was like, I'm going to die. Like, I cannot breathe right now. Like, this is it. And one of my teammates found me, and she went to go get one of the coaches, and they were doing CPR, and they actually had to put my mouth close up to the mirror to see if I was actually breathing. They said that I had no pulse, and then the next thing I know, I woke up in the ambulance.
Jessica, what is your reaction when you heard about this? She's been playing basketball since she's 5. Nothing like this has ever happened. This goes back to the mask.
Never. I was first terrified and was like, what in the world, what is happening? I didn't want her to play with a mask anyway, but it's like her love. And I was like, well, you can make the choice if you want to go. And I was terrified something like this would happen, to be honest.
So, Savannah, you think people should make a choice. If you're worried about it, wear your mask. If you're not worried about it, don't wear the mask, especially because you can't play in this thing.
Exactly. It should be a choice, and right now it's not. We're being forced against our own will to wear something.
How many of your teammates feel that way?
I mean, I know that I feel that way. People at school are not very vocal about it. I'm sure there's a couple, but I do know that there are a couple who aren't, totally against masks.
So, Jessica, they're saying they're keeping your child safe. You should be happy about this. Are you?
I'm not happy at all. I think when they're saying they're keeping my child safe, but what they're saying keeps them safe actually causes them to almost die, that's not keeping them safe at all. And it's insanity that we're giving athletes an obstruction to their oxygen while they're running up and down a court, running on a track, running on a football field. It doesn't matter. How many times does this have to keep happening? Like you said, Maggie, just a few minutes away from us a couple weeks ago, passed out on the finish line in track. And luckily she was okay, and our governor did do a call to action the next day allowing masks to come down for outside sports, which is amazing. However, for indoor sports, which just started,
right,
rules are not as lenient.
Savannah, you didn't see this, but sharing the screen with you was a track athlete about to win a race. I think it was the 400 meters. She passed out before she hit the finish line because she had to wear a mask. What a joke. Here's what the Crook County School District says. And this isn't just about Oregon. This is the entire country. In most places, unlike Texas and Florida, sobered up. Says all players are required to wear a mask during practice and competitions. We urge Governor Kate Brown and her team to re-examine the mask requirements for athletics in light of current scientific and medical evidence. All relevant factors should be considered to ensure the health and safety of our student athletes. The chances of a 15-year-old suffering from this disease is so tiny, and then doing it in a way that you're going to be anything but asymptomatic or have mild symptoms is so small, there's no way it's not worth the risk. If they asked you to sign a release, Jessica, for your daughter to play, would you?
No.
Without a mask? If they would say, sign this release and your daughter can compete without a mask?
Without a mask? Yes, absolutely.
So if anybody's out there thinks this is insurance, most parents feel exactly like you. I give you credit for speaking out, and hopefully I know you're speaking for so many 15-year-olds around the country that might be watching right now, especially those who overslept or have first period off. Savannah Lay, thanks so much. Jessica, thanks for telling your story. Savannah, keep playing. Hopefully adults will stop trying to protect you. Meanwhile, coming up straight ahead, nice